Likkutei, Parshas Masei, page Samach Tes, first column, first paragraph. Okay, now the Rabbi is explaining that the journey of the Midas, Peites, that the journey of the Midas is to elevate in the journeys of life all 7 Midas, each one's composed of 6. And he speaks about Ava and Yira and Rachmanis on yourself, and then you need the level of Netzach to have the victory, to go the Keiches during the day, and then you have to have the Haidah, which is the level of Bittul, and then you have to have the level of Yesod, and so on. So he says, just like in Ahava, you have all these other levels. The same thing in Yira, you need Gvura and Teferes and Netzach, and you say, I know. How do you get to this level of fear? By meditating into the great oneness of Hashem, so that you'll accept upon yourself the yoke of heaven, with love, and then the yoke won't be a burden. In other words, like this. How do you come to love Hashem? You have to meditate into the greatness of Hashem. Therefore, you want to be close to Him. The same thing, Yira, you meditate into the greatness of Hashem, and then you realize how awesome He is, and how you don't want to rebel against Him. And then, when you realize that, then Torah mitzvahs is not a restrictions, it's a discipline to become closer to Hashem. Like it says, Lavas Hashem Elokecha ki chayecha. Elokecha is the level of Yira. Elokim, generally speaking, is Hashem Elokim. Hashem is Chesed. Elokim is Gvura. Kabbalah, so Malchus Shemaim, the level of same Tosim Alecha Melech, to have a king upon you, Ki Hu Chayecha, because it's your life. Like the Rebbe said many times, nobody ever wants, when a person realizes the Torah mitzvahs is his existence, his lifeline, so a person will never want to stop it, because nobody ever wants to go on vacation from breathing. You know, you want to go on vacation from work, because that's not you. Nobody ever says, I'm breathing for 100 years, I want to take a break. It's never going to enter your mind, because, God forbid, you're going to die. You don't take a vacation from your essence. So he says, that's what Torah mitzvahs are. Pressure cause, like the Pasuk says, Yiras Hashem l'chaim, the fear of Hashem is for life. So what is he meditating? All the existence of the world is a level of Malchus. Like it says, Malchus kol elamim. From your Malchus comes the Malchus of all worlds. There's no king without a nation. And therefore, and therefore he says, you'll accept the yoke of heaven not as a, like we said, not as a burden, restrictions, rather as a way of discipline, the way to save your life. Like it says in davening, even though you're accepting the yoke of heaven, seemingly, which is Gvura, but it's Bi'ahava. That's the level of Chesed Shebegvura, that you realize Gvura is really Chesed. A person will not, like, Yibet is like kick back. With Yisurim, in other words, you won't get angry when Hashem punishes us. Why? Because it's a cleansing process. That's the way you establish the land. Therefore, there is ben now. People all of aim of a fachet. Through this meditation will come upon the person love and fear and awe. And this level of Yira and Malchut Shemayim is also the level of Rachmanis. Why? When a person sees, when a person sees, he meditates, he can say it in words all about this. The way fear of Hashem is awesome and discipline, and it doesn't do anything to him. And yet, with the whole meditation, he doesn't have the fear of Hashem opposite him. More like into animals, they have Again, just like in the level of Ava, the Alter Rebbe went through all the midas. Now the Alter Rebbe is going through how fear also has all the midas. You do it with love. You have a Rachmanis on yourself that you're meditating into this whole thing and nothing is happening. And the person who has pity on his davening. The Hashem should be revealed. And that's what we say, Baruch Ata Hashem. What are we asking in davening? It should be Ata, I should see you, right here in front of me. That's what Chacham say. The Gemara says, Ayas Adam Tfilah Sikva. It's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Don't make your davening like a, I gotta do it, it's burden, I just gotta do it. Something's happening here with one of the phones. Malkum is the level Yichudi Ilah. Hu mekayme shala elameinu ela mekayme shevakish rachman. She bechinezu begilu should be revealed. She is galus elukus. In other words, Avram Maradi is sponsoring class today. Thank you for all good things. V'chein kol pratim midas klulim gam kem midas agvur. The same thing. All the other midas are part of gvur. The uniqueness of kedusha versus even olam ateu, or versus evil, in Kedusha there's unity. Unity. Normally, the 7 midas basically are contradicting each other. Ava is not Yira, Yira is not Ava, Chesed is not Gvura, Gvura is not Tzfer. Really, each one is a separate thing.
And Yira is not Pacha.
What? They're all opposite things. Yet, how can you have coexisting fire and water, chesed and gvura? The answer is because each one is bottled to the cause. When they're bottled to the cause, so then you can have unity. Just like in the person's body, the head and the heart are opposite. The head is cold, the heart is warm. This is intellectual coldness, this is warmth, midas. Yeah, how can all the different limbs of the body function in unity? Because when there's bittul, in other words, the head and the heart both understand that there's a human body here that we need to keep functioning. And you need the head and you need the heart, even though they're different. But they work together in harmony. Just against symphonies and art, whatever.
So like when Mashiach comes, all the armies will...
everything of them will be one. And that's the ultimate goal. So in Kedusha you have that. But in Klippa, when I am me and you are you, and I am, I don't care about you because I care only about me, so then, then there is no unity.
That's what happened in the world of...
That's the world of Tehu.
It broke.
And therefore it can't last. What? Yeah, but that was a different story. Same thing, all details are in Gevura. Same thing in all the midas. What's the function of traveling in the midbar? The function of traveling in the midbar was to take all the different midas and all the compositions within them and make it into one big chant. One Achdus of Hashem. Ya'apach Hashem levadi libot v'yichol b'yichud v'achdus yizbarach, to be one with Hashem. And that's the level of Membeis Masois. That's the purpose of the 42 journeys, Shishapam Sayin, 6 times 7, which is Membeis 42. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining, and by the way, who's the one that does it? So the Alter Rebbe explained before, it's Moshe Rabbeinu. Aydem Moshe Varan Dafka. Because Moshe Rabbeinu could be Mamshech, this level of Elokus, which is higher than world, which that level of Elokus, everything is even. There is no chesed or gvura or bad or good or light or dark. That level of elokus is the same. So Moshe Rabbeinu reveals that level within the Jew. So therefore there's able to be unity amongst the spheres. That's what you're supposed to have in mind, and the letters.
Everything you say you have to have kavanah.
Rabbi, is it unity or is it tolerance?
Unity.
It's more of the tolerance.
No. Tolerance, as I tolerate you, but I'm not one with you. Here the ultimate goal is, that was I say, the story with Rabbi Kiva is Talmidim, but they weren't tolerant towards each other. didn't have tolerance to one another. The ultimate is not tolerant. Not that I tolerate you, that I am you.
You have to have the same attitude with your wife too.
Yeah, but not with the wife or the husband. Rine Gimel. Rine Umayla Lamata. From lower to higher is Mem Tes. See, now the Rebbe is saying like this. Why 42, not 49? You know, by Sfir Shem is 49, and this Momail is 42. So now the Alter Rebbe is going to explain. This was Moshe Aaron giving it, revealing, like we said by the class Monday night. V'yichtav Moshe Rabbeinu is bringing down the Motza Ayam, the source of the Neshama into. So Momail Lamata, higher to lower is 42. Lower to higher is 49. Sfira Se'emer, the Aveda Sfira Se'emer is Momata Lamaila. Lower, going to higher. So then you need 40, he's going to explain. Then you need 49. When it's above, below, then it's 42. What's the thing over here?
One cycle less.
Not a cycle less. You're elevating the 6 sfiras of each one rather than the 7. So he says like this. Hayem kol pratem nahainu gam bechinas malchus shebechol midah. That means like this. When you look Momaila Lamata, what are the 6 sfiras? Chesed, V'Rtz, Netzach, Yesod. Then you come to the level of Malchus. That's Momata Lamaila. Why? Shebechol lecha shemagdula mamlacha bechinas yesh v'gilui kamesha kosu la'ancho eve yesh mashe'en kena masois. No, 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. Sfira Sa'emer, he's saying is Momaila Lamata. I'm sorry. Momaila Lamata is 49. Momata Lamaila, the other way. From above, below, it's 49. He's going to explain what it means. Mashe'en kena masoig shemimata Lamaila einem kim shisha levad b'chol midah. Over there, the Momata Lamaila is only 6. Why? Ki tzarech li is bechinas ayin and not the level of yesh. Lahagish midasef. Because then, when you're talking that way, then you need to have the level of malchus, which is the level of bittul, that you don't even feel the spheres.
It should be 49.
No, mimata lamaila is 42. He's saying the opposite, no?
Basically, it's the doubles we don't do.
Yeah, because you have to.
Chesed, Sheva, Chesed.
No, but he's saying because the level of malchus of each sfira, no, he's not saying that. 42 is not, let's say, in chesed, only gvur, tefes, netzched, yesod. And no, the 42 is not including malchus of each one.
So you do
That's
the
what he's
doubles
saying.
and you do everything but not malchus.
Right. Because it has to be the level of bittul, which is malchus.
Malchus is bittul.
Malchus is bittul.
That should be.
No, he says, 1 second. Ki tzarech li es bechinas ayim li bechinas yesh lahargish midas. You shouldn't even feel the midas. Meaning, kamei shamer Rabbi Yechim ben Zakkai, ein yedei beizeh derech, hainu, lefi shel yoda, lo yoda v'higish bechinas ava v'yirushalayim. Okay, meaning like this. Rabbi Yechim ben Zakkai in his deathbed, we learned this a little bit differently, the Alter Rebbe says here than always. But we learned, the Gemara says, Rabbi Yechim ben Zakkai in his deathbed, when the students came in to say goodbye basically, they found him crying. So he said, why are you crying? So he says, I see 2 paths in front of me. Love, I'm in Gan Eden and Gehenna. I don't know which way they're taking me, where they're going to, where they're taking me. Gehenna or Gan Eden. Okay? So Chassidus asks the question, what do you mean he didn't know? The Gemara says 40 years, he learned 40 years, he taught 40 years. Rabbi Yechim Zakkai was a Moshe Rabbeinu of his generation. There's a lot of similarity. He lived 120 years, just like Moshe Rabbeinu 40. Rabbi Yechim Zakkai was 40, like Hillel and Rabbi Akiva. There's all similarity between all these people. So Rabbi Yechim Zakkai didn't know where he was going, he didn't know who he was. So usually Chassidus explains the answer that Abraham and Zakkai never had a time to make a reckoning. In other words, it was discussed not long ago. A guy in business, during the day you can't make reckonings of how the business is going, because then you're not going to be doing business. At the end of the day, business is closed, you lock up, then you make a reckoning how it went for the day. So Abraham and Zakkai, his whole life, couldn't make a reckoning. Why? He was busy doing mitzvahs. Why to waste time making a reckoning? Meanwhile, I could be doing more mitzvahs, more learning, more davening. Now on his deathbed, if not now, when? So finally, Rabbi and Zakkai had no choice but to make a reckoning, and finally he realized, I don't know where I'm going. Here out that Rebbe is saying is something else. Rabbi and Zakkai didn't know, he didn't feel his love and fear. In other words, there was no question he had a tremendous love and fear of Hashem. But he didn't realize it. He was such bittul, he didn't even think about himself that he had love and fear, so he didn't know where I'm going. He didn't know where he's going because he had such bittul, he didn't know that he was davening or learning. It wasn't him.
And now you think he worked on himself to get there, or he was born with it?
No. Obviously he was born with the ability to be a tzaddik. Like every tzaddik is born with the ability. But on the contrary, the Gemara says, in fact, the Rebbe in the Sikha says 2 words that answer a tremendous question. The Gemara says, the greater the person, the greater the Yetzer Hara. But if you're a tzaddik, you don't have a Yetzer Hara. So how can you say the greater the person, the greater the Yetzer Hara, if a tzaddik kills the Yetzer Hara? So the Rebbe says in 2 words, from birth. In the earlier Sikha, Aleph, forget whatever. From birth. This, the Gemara says, Kol HaGadol Mechaber Yitzig Adam Men, means from birth you're born. Meaning, if you have a greater neshama, you have a greater nefesh habam, you have a greater Yetzer Hara. But you have the ability to overcome the Yetzer Hara. So tzaddikim don't have it easy, by the way, even to become a tzaddik, because they have a greater Yetzer Hara than we do. And therefore the fighting at the beginning is, but they were given the ability to be able to do that. So Rabbi and Zakkai, he was born with the ability to do it, but he did it. He utilized his ability to the fullest. Thank you. So he says, V'hidei Masei. So now the question is like this. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that brought down this koyach for the Jews for the 42 Masois, right? But why did they need Biad Moshe v'Aaron? Why was Aaron needed? Moshe was needed. Aaron, why was he needed? He said, Masois and Ayitzar Gamkin L'Bchinas Aaron, which is the level, Aaron is the level of Nira. Aaron is the same letters, Aleph, Hey, Reish, Nun, is the same letters as the word Nira, which means to reveal, to appear. Shubachinas Gili Minahelim. To reveal this level from the concealment. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu brought down the ability to do it. But Aaron was the one that actually, like kindling the menorah, what did he do? Moshe Rabbeinu took the oil, Moshe Rabbeinu did everything, but who actually kindled the menorah, who actually revealed the potential of the Jew? That was Aaron HaKohen. He says, like it says, when Aaron lit, literally means he lit the net, but it doesn't say he lit, hidlik. He elevated the person, like it says, he elevated the neshamis el muk pnei hamaneda, to face the pnei hamaneda, to face the pneumius of Hashem.
When the Aaron went up, he brought all the mitzvot to Yachid, or all the Jews with different mitzvot to Yachid?
Both of the above. Aaron HaKohen, by kindling 7 menorahs, lit every single possible Jew, because some Jews serve Hashem like this and like this. In addition to that, in every single Jew to elevate all 7 midas. Now, but free choice is not taken away. You know, we could still go against that. We could still go against that. But adding gives the koyach for every Jew to reveal their essence within them. What?
And why did it have to go through Moshe? Why the oil?
Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that reveals, like, bring the oil to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu reveals that essence of the neshama. But who reveals it in a practical level? That was Aaron HaKohen. That's why you needed both of them. No, it had to be both. Moshe Rabbeinu accomplished